Hello, my name is Christopher Johnson, student ID L00642530, instructor Sullivan, JPP 3030 Criminal Psychology 8 Final PowerPoint presentation, dated today 8/16/2026. Hello class, welcome to Psychological and Legal Analyst of Miller v. Alabama 2012 for JPP 3030 Criminal Psychology. And with this presentation, utilize the setup from Greene and Heilbrun 2019 to show verification and proof on how the legal system let mandatory life without parole sentences in regards to juvenile. Let us go on this journey to look at the problem in the judicial system and what they mean for youth in the courtrooms. Module 1, Psychology and the Law. When it comes to the module, that it compares two of them main goals in regards of justice, crime control, and also due process. Moreover, the crime control module in which focus on punishment and efficacy, where the due process module focus on protected rights for juvenile, a system focus on speed that may fail in order to consider the biological and psychological immaturity. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 2, Psychology and the Law, and a deeper understanding. When it comes to this module, it looks as how mandatory sentencing laws treat every case the same and how it takes away an honorable court ability to use his or her discretion. For Miller v. Alabama 2012, the law at the time had not allowed the court to be able to consider Evan Miller's history in regards to childhood trauma or his potential for rehabilitation. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 3, Theories of Crime. When it comes to this module, it shows a person that the legal system will many times on how it treats adolescents' intent the same as if they were adult, and give 3 the same type of intent. Experts and medical professionals show verification and proof using science that adolescent brain is not fully developed like an adult, especially in areas that control decision making. Utilizing these standards to these juvenile neglects the type of development science. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 4, Psychology of Police. The decision of law enforcement most of the times are influenced due to quick judgments or confirmation bias, wherein law enforcement assumes guilt early, in which they might utilize high pressure of interrogation methods, in which these tactics can be really harmful to children that is considered as criminals who are still developing. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 5, Memory Constraints and Eyewitness Reliability. When it comes to psychological research, it proves that memory is not considered fixed and that it can be augmented due to stress or fear. Around the violent crime scenes, the individuals that are witnesses, the memories can become less correct, especially in cases when law enforcement uses leading questions. The honorable court must be careful not to identify confidence with accuracy. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 6, Psychology of Victims of Crime and Violence. Of the victimology, it shows proof and verification that when it comes to childhood abuse, that is considered a huge risk factor regarding the later delinquency. The juvenile defendant, Evan Miller, reflects the type of cycle in which he had committed violence, but he also experienced severe neglect and abuse in the household. Dealing with this issue in regards to trauma is a key to understanding the cause of crime. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 7, Evaluating Criminal Suspects. Law enforcement interrogation most of the time will use isolation and stress in order to get confessions, in which these types of methods overwhelm juveniles more than they do for adults, due to youth focus in regards to immediate relief that may confess just to end questionnaire, wherein that highlights the need for a child or someone under 18 get a lawyer during youth interrogations. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 8, Traditional prosecution, arrest, bail, and plea bargain and settlement. During the pre-trial stage is basically crafted by money and prosecutor power. And in many cases, when a person is poor and locked up for offense that requires a bail, he or she will not have the opportunity to reach bail. Now, when it came to Evan Miller, he was considered indigent, meant that he is not going to be able to bail out. He is going to get public defender to help him without a solid defense, wherein that itself creates unequal outcomes due to a person's income. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 9, Trial Preparation and Legal Resources. The internet, such as Facebook, Instagram, or news coverages, can form bias before a trial come about by portraying the juvenile who is going to court to be dangerous. Further, public defenders do not have the resources and do not have funds to hire experts. Without resources, the defense does not have the capability to fully represent or present information about a juvenile's background and development. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 10, Forensic Assessment in Juvenile Criminal Context. When it comes to forensic evaluation, they should use a technique that is foreign for juvenile offenders, not just for adults, in which trauma-informed assessments can help an honorable court judge understand the juvenile thinking or lens. When courts do not follow these evaluations, they risk focusing just when it comes to punishment and not be focused on development at all at once. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 11, Jury Selection and Trial Mechanics. At the time during the process of jury selection, in many cases does not address hidden biases in regards to race, class, and age, in which the jurors might view juveniles from excluding backgrounds more harshly, where that will lead to tougher sentences for the defendants that do not fit what is considered as a mainstream expectation. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 12, Jury Deliberation and Decision Making. Jurors in many cases blame individual character and will just ignore the outside factors like what type of environment his or she come from and of their age, whereas this is called the fundamental attribution error, where jurors need clear jury instructions that remind them to consider the juvenile offender development at the same time of making decisions. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 13, Punishment and Sentencing Structures. When a juvenile offender receives life without parole, he or she would not have any hope of any kind of change. Experts can show verification or prove that adolescents can get older and then are able to make different choices as time goes by. Legal psychology does support sentencing that allows for a person to be rehabilitated and offer a chance for release. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 14, The Constitution Shift, Miller vs. Alabama, 2012. When it came due to the United States Supreme Court ruling in Miller vs. Alabama 567 U.S. 460 2012, in which they said that mandatory life without parole sentence for juveniles offenders actually violated the Eighth Amendment rights. Further, the decision came down due to research in regards to adolescent brain development, wherein all that required an honorable court has to now consider youth and potential for change. Module 15, The Psychology of Confinement and Community Reentry. In many adult penitentiaries in which it can cause lasting psychological harm to a person, especially to youth, being behind bars can reduce a person's independence and their social skills. Upon release, these individuals in most cases face major challenges with housing and employment, and a lot of states provide little support. Greene and Heilbrun, 2019. Module 16, Fake Connection and Restorative Justice. In regards to Micah 6:8, in which calls out to the individual and doing justice and also love kindness, whereas inside the faith community can take action by going beyond observation. However, the churches in which is God house can be able to help and support the young children in the community and societies by mentoring them and help to curb criminal behavior, to be able to provide housing, clothes, transportation, groups that helps to support those that is getting out of prison to stay free and not return back to prison or jail. References: Greene E. and Heilbrun K. 2019. Wrightsman, Psychology and Legal System, 9th edition. Cengage Learning. Miller vs. Alabama, 567 U.S. 460 2012. And thank you for your time and consideration of this important matter of this presentation. Thank you. Thank you, class of criminal psychology. And thank you, instructor Sullivan. Thank you for your time and consideration.